What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Aegaeon, entitled Age. This is self-released. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Evansville, Indiana, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very aggressive, technical, atmospheric style of deathcore. Yeah. I love Aegaeon's style. I love the fact that for as long as this band has been around, they've always had that do-it-yourself sort of ethic. They've never been on a major label. They've always self-released their own material. They've always toured with some of the best bands of the genre, and they've been nothing short of consistent throughout the years. I mean, for somebody that really doesn't get all that much into deathcore, I would say Aegaeon are a band that really take their craft seriously and have a lot of great detail and respect for music. I remember many years ago when I saw this band live for the I'm sure I talk about this certain show a lot, but it was the Slaughter Survivors tour, pretty much a compilation of bands that could have gotten on the Summer Slaughter tour, but somehow didn't make the final cut. So you had bands like Fallujah, In Full Darkness, and of course one of the other bands being Aegaeon. And I got to see that band live, and they were very impressive. Very solid stage presence, very good riffs, very good vocals, good drum work, all the way around solid stuff. But this band has had a very intriguing body of work ever since then, with material like their 2011 debut Dissension, to EPs like Exponential Transcendence, and to the last time we had heard an EP release from them in 2012 with Being. But since Being, this band had been making music with a brand new vocalist, releasing a couple of singles here and there, and of course doing the routine of being consistent in playing live. But when I found out that there was going to be a brand new Aegaeon record, and the fact that they brought their original vocalist, Jim Martin, back, I was very excited for that, because I really enjoyed that guy's vocal style and delivery, and I was curious to see and hear how things were going to work out this time around. But now we have the second full-length album from Aegaeon, entitled Age. It's 11 tracks, and it clocks in at around 42 minutes in length, and pretty much you can already tell what type of a band Aegaeon is by listening to this album upon the opening moments of existence, and then going on further and further. This is a band that really takes the music style of deathcore and then incorporates the elements of intense atmosphere and creativity to be heard to make some of these songs sound a little bit different than what you normally would expect. But I think this is one of those few and far between deathcore bands that makes this sound work. And I think this is a very awesome return to form for the band, I would say. Musically, there's a lot to digest here with this album, in addition to the already aforementioned sort of atmosphere with the instrumentals and the keys and all that sort of stuff. But the guitar playing on here is very top notch. A lot of good riffs, a lot of good heaviness, a lot of good chunkiness going on with the riffs. Going with songs like Existence, Devolve, Void, to even some of the more lengthier songs that are on this record, like Ruination, Metamorphosis, and of course the longest track on here being Metamorphosis at around 8 minutes in length. It's really crazy to see how these guitar riffs sound so good and are played so well. It's very crafty sounding stuff, and the bass work on here is very technical too. When you get a chance to let the bass have its own moments and to shine, it really does sound good. It sounds very audible, very technical, just as much as the guitar would sound here throughout this entire record. I think it's badass to listen to. Drum wise, there's a lot of like I mentioned with the guitar playing and bass work, there's a lot of technicality going on here. A lot of good, very fill heavy, very blast beat heavy. Very much when it comes to the breakdowns, you get a little bit of a slower edge sort of pace going on here, but I think it works out very well to this drummer's advantage. mixing in the parts where things are quicker, things are slower. This drummer knows what he's doing, and I think it's a very solid performance. It's a little bit of the cleanly side, I must say, but this drummer gets the job done. And going back to the atmosphere, I love the fact that this is a band that incorporates that sort of style very well here. Very methodical, lengthy introductions before the songs even start, even little passages in between the songs to bring the mood right, to give that little bit of an existential, spacey sort of feeling going on here. It's very intriguing, and it makes for an overall impressive sort of listen. And when it comes to the vocals, like I said, I'm happy that Jim Martin is back in the band. I've always thought he was a good vocalist with a good stage presence and a great demeanor. And here on Age, he really showcases that very well here. I mean, it's a very simple sort of guttural vocal style, very strong, very well-worded sort of vocals being presented here. But I think Jim gets the job done with his vocal performance. I love his style, I love his delivery, and I like the fact that he brings a lot of intensity here for this album. It's very impressive stuff. So overall, Aegaeon are back, and I would say are one of the better deathcore bands to exist in extreme music and extreme metal right now. Age is a very solid album, definitely a new step in this band's direction. I'm very curious to hear and see what happens with this band next, and if anything else, they'll continue to show why they have been such a dominant force for the last decade or so. So, if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Existence, Encounter, Ruination, Void, Metamorphosis. That's a very solid track. And yeah, what I will do is I will leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Aegaeon Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally, and it is also available as a physical CD. As I mentioned before, this band is DIY, do it yourself. They self-release most of their material, and there should also be available options to buy t-shirts if you want to do like a combo deal or something. So, again, the album is Age by Aegaeon. This is self-released. Definitely check this one out if you're into this style of music. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 8 out of 10. One of the better deathcore releases of 2018. I don't know if anything else could potentially top it. I'm pretty sure something may or will, but we'll see what happens. So, if any of you guys happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to their previous works. Or any of you guys into Aegaeon, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Armio out.